Eugenie Sage.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, thank you. My question is to the Minister for the Environment and asks, will he be taking any steps to increase protection for Indigenous trees and vegetation in the proposed changes to the Resource Management Act?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, the Resource Management Act already provides ample opportunities for councils to be able to protect Indigenous trees and vegetation, so no. The law gives councils discretion over whether they wish to protect individual trees or groups of trees, and where they are protected, as in the Kauri case in the Waitakaris, whether to grant consent for alteration or removal. The situation with trees does vary hugely from community to community, and it is entirely appropriate that the Act gives council discretion over what trees to protect and where they are protected, when to grant consent for their approval. It's healthy that there is debate around how councils administer that discretion, but it's not a fault with the law.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Does he see the Auckland Council's decision to allow a developer to fell centuries-old kauri and rimu trees as striking the correct balance between landholder rights and the environment?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, the Resource Management Act gives councils the discretion to decide whether trees should be protected. The group of trees in the Waitakere Ranges was included in the district plan and in the draft unitary plan that's currently before the panel for protection. The Council commissioned a 70-page report on the individual case, and it decided that the tree would be granted consent to remove. That's a decision for Council.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
If this 500-year-old kauri is not protected under the RMA as it stands, how can he justify strengthening landholder property rights and weakening the RMA's environmental safeguards as he proposes?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, there are hundreds of cases of trees that come before councils every year. I'm all the time hearing the case put by the Green Party that you should let councils make decisions. Councils made a decision that there is a healthy debate about, but it's a decision that rests with the Auckland City Council.
Supplementary question, Eugenie Sage.
Does he believe that felling this 500-year-old kauri is acceptable when less than 1% of old-growth kauri forest remains? And if not, will he commit to a national policy statement on Indigenous biodiversity to guide councils in their implementation of their statutory responsibility to protect biodiversity?
Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, I'm not convinced that a national policy statement under the RMA would have a significant effect on such a discretionary decision. The reality is that councils have to make those trade-offs as to where to protect trees and where allow them to be felled. If there is a particular instance, in this case I'm surprised, it is the decision by the Auckland Council not to notify the decision. The test under the law is that if the effect is less than minor, they don't have to notify it. I would have thought the loss of and I'm advised it's about a 200-year-old kauri. I am surprised by the decision not to notify a decision to remove a 200-year-old kauri.